Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We wish to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land within the Shire of Chittering, the Ewart and Whadjuk peoples. We would like to pay respect to the elders of the Noongar Nation, past and present, who have walked and cared for the land. We acknowledge and respect their continuing culture and the contributions made to this region. I declare the meeting open at 7 o'clock. Please be advised that as per Council Resolution 130423, this meeting is being live streamed. Item 2, record of attendance, apologies, approved leave of absence and announcements. Attendance, we have all of Council in attendance and we have staff in attendance, so thank you. Members of the public gallery, there are 2. Apologies, nil. Approved leave of absence, there are nil. Announcements, councillors, your attendances as elected members are recorded. Are there any addition to this list of attendances, please? Yep. All good, thank you. I'll move on. Item 3, disclosure of interest. Councillors, are there any matters for council for which you wish to declare an interest? No disclosures of interest. I'll move on. Item 4, public question time. Response to previous public questions taken on notice from the agenda forum held on the 14th of June 2023. PQT01, Lee Martin Bindoon. Question: has council had any input into the implementation of the Aboriginal Act that is coming into effect? Council's response: we acknowledge that there is a lot of confusion in regards to the Act, and we will endeavour to find a subject matter expert to present to the council and the community. The Shire has contacted the department and requested a community workshop to be presented in Bindoon. Feedback on a date and time will be provided as soon as the department has confirmed. Taken on notice, Ordinary Council meeting the 21st of June 2023. PQT01, Colleen Osborne Bindoon. Question: as a chair of the reference group or any other, as a chair of the reference group or any other councillor here, can you tell me what information you received from the Midland Netball Association in relation to the return of the Mouchet Netball Club to the competition, and do you know how many members there are of the Mouchet Netball Club? Council's response or reply is: the council does not engage with the Midlands Netball Association regarding club competitions or the future of club sports in the Shire. The responsibility of the Shire is to ensure multi-generational facilities are built to provide for any eventuality, and that would provide our clubs the greatest opportunity for success in the future.
Can I make a comment?
No. Public question time. I'm reading out public questions. PQ202, Alfred Hare Bindoon. Question: will you or will you not provide me with the name or names of the DWER officer whom the Shire officers have communicated in relation to the advice councillors have received that it is not necessary to submit an application to destroy the 3 Maori trees impacted by the provision of the Mouchet Recreation Centre? The response is: the interactions between the Shire and DWER were over an extended period, with several officers involved. The Shire is not able to disseminate information about a third party. This information should be requested directly from DWER. Next question, PQT03, Nikki Kleins, Chittering. Question: my family and neighbour have raised several times over the last year with the Shire that the verge drainage and sump in front of our property is not sufficient for the volume of water that is regularly received in our area. We have undertaken significant and costly works on our own land to remediate this, but these works are limited by the volume of water that enters our property. What does the Shire plan to do in the immediate future to rectify this issue and prevent further damage to our property and assets? Response. The Shire has had several engagements and site visits relating to the drainage matter. It was agreed that a permanent solution would be extremely costly as well as time consuming. Therefore, a temporary solution to slow down the water entering the drainage system on the property was proposed and built. Unfortunately, the drainage on the property upon which this solution relied was filled in, which caused the flooding, and there is no remediation that the Shire would be able to do to avoid this, as any solution will still require the drainage on the property to be intact. Your property is situated at a low point of 2 topographical rises such that the upstream surface water naturally runs off to the front of your property. During winter, and particularly at high rainfall events, the ground becomes saturated to the extent that there is no viable option other than to channel the surface water to the next natural low point without affecting downstream properties. The sump installed by the Shire was designed to slow the water before release through your property via the existing drainage channel and swale previously constructed by you. We understand that the surface water was then going to be directed into the neighbour's dam with an overflow to be constructed to direct the overflow down the fire break of the downstream property and then to an existing drainage system. This approach appeared to be well thought out. This approach appeared to be a well thought out solution to not only protect your house and infrastructure but also ensure the neighbour's dam is seasonally refilled and the outflow is controlled to protect the downstream property. The structure of the sump was meant to work with your existing drainage system, and your removal of this drainage channel has only worsened the problem. The video you provided to Council shows a very significant water flow that no drainage sump, once filled, can slow the flow of water during a high rainfall event. By virtue of your property location, surface water drainage will always be problematic, and there is no solution Council can provide to remedy this. We suggest that you consider reinstating a more substantial drainage system at the front of your property to direct water down your fire break swale and continue to work with your neighbours to implement your drainage plan. Question. Second question. To this, we are advised by Council that there would be an allowance in the maintenance budget to deepen and widen the sump and drain if needed. Why hasn't this been utilised as the current size is for purpose? And can this budget be used to remediate the area ground around the drain and remove the dirt that was removed when they dug the drain, which has been left on the verge and the verge has been left untidy? Response. Any solution would rely on the drainage of the property to be in place to avoid flooding through the property. A deeper, wider sump will still need to be able to overflow in a drainage system as the property is in the basin and lowest point of the area. That's it for questions taken on notice and responses. Public question time. Are there any public questions? Thank you.
Hello councillors, my name is Michelle Davies. My address is 39 Deverne Street, Mouchet, and my question relates to the marri trees in Mouchet. On the morning of the 11th of July 2023, the marri trees were destroyed. My son and I heard the chainsaws and mulching machinery from our property just over a kilometre away. When responding to questions regarding the trees, Council has stated that councillors represent the interests of all people living within the Shire, and sometimes a decision which is popular with a majority group can be unpopular with a smaller group. My question to Council is, how do you know that the decision to destroy the trees was, in fact, supported by the majority of the people living within the Shire, and what data has been used to verify that statement?
I think I'll provide a response to that so that you get a response. In the past, when Council has been faced with faced with community interest in or angst against a particular topic. So let's use Bell Hill for an example. Chambers was flooded, overflowing out the door with people wanting to express a view regarding that project or that development. We've not seen any substantial support for retaining the trees, other than, yes, there was a petition of 72 signatures, I think I remember. But that has been the extent. Chambers has met on a number of council has convened on a number of times. This Chambers hasn't been full. It hasn't been. So we talk to the community, and our view is, and by the interest shown, it's a very small group of people who were in support for retaining the trees, as opposed to those who were more in support of having a fully functional, multi-generational redevelopment of the Mouchet Centre. So it's simply just there's simply not enough numbers, not even on Facebook. So if you can point to me where there is substantial support for retaining the trees, then I'll certainly look at it, but I haven't seen it. And it hasn't come to me. My phone, my email, my phone number is publicly available, as are all the other councillors. Not one person other than a few, being Natalie Valance, Colleen Osborne and maybe Louise Yates, have bothered to contact to voice their view. Now, Bell Hill, my phone ran hot, my email ran hot. So it's simply, the numbers aren't there. It is a minority view to wanting to retain the trees. And I take a bit of exception to the word demolishing the trees. We removed the trees and we did it carefully, and we also engaged a biologist a zoologist, to ensure there was no wildlife in the tree, and if there was any wildlife in the tree, they could have relocated. So we've followed all due process. We've spoken to DWER. We've done everything we possibly could, and if we had done something wrong, I'm very, very sure that the people who were against the tree would have found a compelling argument or legal argument why these trees should remain, but there wasn't one.
May I ask a second question?
You may.
In the future, when issues like this come up in the Shire, where you may want to seek the voice of the community, will the Shire utilise the modern technologies and methods that are now available, such as surveys or your have your say option, to actually seek the community voice?
So we do as generally. We follow all platforms of advertising, Facebook, the Shire website, or even the Northern Valley News, if we're looking for. Let me give you an example. We'll put out a survey to the community, and I think, what do we get back on these surveys?
Maybe anything between 36 and about 112 responses.
So that's the level of response we get to, where we're trying to engage with the community and we're asking them to provide feedback. And it's been an ongoing problem. So we make every effort to do so, and we'll continue to do so. But it needs the community to respond for us to know the broader views. If the community isn't responding, then we naturally assume that they're in agreement with what we're proposing. As I said, only a small group, a minority group of people came forward about the Maori trees. The other one is we rely on a user group, and the user group was there to represent the users of the hall and provide community feedback into the group that then informed council's decision ultimately on what that development will entail. So we always endeavour to consult with the community. I don't believe we've done anything wrong, and I don't think we've failed. But there is a general lack of community engagement on issues. So going forward, if the community can be more involved, then that will help us make better decisions.
Thank you.
Thank you. If there are no further questions, I'll move on to item 5, presentations, petitions and deputations. There are nil. Item 6, applications for leave of absence. Councillors, are there any applications for leave of absence?
Oh, yes, Mr. President. 1st of August to 9th of August.
Okay, we'll just put that up.
I nearly forgot.
Inclusive of the night?
I'll maybe make it the 10th on. Yeah, 1st to the 10th. Yep, inclusive. Thanks.
So that's, you're effectively missing the August forum, that's all.
Okay.
Okay.
Second.
Councillor Curtis, you're the mover of your motion.
I'll move it.
Second, Councillor Angus. Do you wish to add any comment to that, Councillor Curtis?
No, thank you.
Okay, I'll put the motion to the vote. All those in favour? Carried. 7-0. Thank you. Item 7, confirmation of minutes of Ordinary Council meeting 21st of June 2023. Councillors, can I have a mover to confirm minutes? Councillor Angus, thank you. Seconder, Councillor Ross. Councillor Angus, any discussion?
No discussion, thank you.
Councillors, anyone speaking against the officer's recommendation? If not, I'll declare carried, 7-0. Item 8, announcements from the presiding member. There are nil. Item 9, reports. Development Services DS01. Review of Council Policy 10.5, multiple dogs. Councillors, you have an officer's recommendation to adopt the amended policy. That's been provided. Can I have a mover of the officer's recommendation, please? Councillor Campbell. Seconder, please. Councillor Ross. Councillor Campbell.
Thanks, Mr. President. Can I make an amendment now?
You can, yep. So, just one minute.
Applications received and assessed from approved residential.
Yeah. Let me just see what it is.
From approved residential dwellings.
Assist, AWS. Assist, AWS.
Assessed. Yes. Assessed, yeah, no, yeah.
So that's your amendment.
Yeah. Is it the wrong place?
Problem is we can't amend policy.
Okay.
So the only way to do that is withdraw the item or leave your review of the policy
Okay. And I can withdraw it.
It would be nice to get this policy, if it's not fundamentally flawed, then there can be further opportunities going forward to review that aspect of it. If we lay it on the table, then it's just going to delay it.
Because I had a wording thing as well,
Inside the policy.
which we've discussed and is changed in the officer comment, but is not changed in the policy.
It is the wrong one was attached to the original one sent out to the council. It is on the website and in the council link. If, cool. Okay.
So you said it. Just fine. So we can lay it on the table, or you can just withdraw your amendment.
I'm happy to withdraw it. That's fine. Just make sure we, if one of these do come before council, we obviously insist that we provide with that detail. So that's fine.
Okay, Councillor Campbell, Councillor Ross.
Okay with that.
Thank you. Councillors, anyone speaking for or against? Councillor Angus.
Just, I haven't obviously seen the latest version then. My concern was in the officer comments under the 4th point, approval to keep the subject additional dog or dogs, but when you,
So this.
it says if they've had a dog previously in another local authority. So did we change it on the
Yes,
policy?
I can confirm that all the changes that were recommended were brought on as per the council discussions, all the wording changes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I don't have anything else then.
Thank you, councillors. Any further comment? The only thing I'd like to say is, look, I think this gives us a chance to reset and set a new pathway of expectations going forward. So we need to deal with this better than we have in the past. So I think the policy is important to support for the purpose of setting our expectations and not having to be, having a new policy means that we can put aside previous decisions. We set the new pathway forward. So that's my view on this. Anyone else wish to talk?
I was just going to say along those lines that it is important to have that marry up also with the changes in legislation that we've had recently.
Thank you. Councillor Hughes, Councillor Campbell, any right to reply? No. Councillors, let me put this to the vote. All those in favour of the officer's recommendation? Carried 7-0, thank you. Technical services, there are nil. Corporate services, list of accounts, CS01, list of accounts paid for the period ending 30th of June 2023. Councillors, you have the officer's recommendation to endorse the list of accounts. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Angus, thank you. Seconder, Councillor Curtis. Councillor Angus.
Yes, I only have one item that jumped out at me as a concern, and that is line item number 49, $274.45 to Bindoon Pharmacy for flu vaccinations for staff, I'm guessing. However, the government provided them all free for 2 months for everybody, so I was a bit of a loss why we are paying for them.
I'd have to take this on notice. My understanding is that we get them through LGIS. We have to pay that and get refunded through our insurance, but I'd have to take this on notice.
Thank you.
Councillor Curtis.
Just one thing, I've lost it now, but it's to do with the water tank out at the Bindoon tip. Looks like there's 1,800 litres for the month. I'm trying to find it again. Anyway, it seems a lot of money for water for one guy a day and for 3 days out there. I wonder if got any explanation for the amount of water we need out there?
Bushfire.
No, it's
Through
drinking
the
water.
chair,
It's drinking water.
Let me refer to the Chief Executive Officer.
Yes, this was a health and safety concern that there was no running water or clear drinking water or something for a face wash in case of an emergency. We have since cancelled that contract and we will be looking at the bigger water fountain coolers as a cheaper option because it did run into more expenses than we initially anticipated. But it was because there was no fresh drinking water or clean water in case if there is an eye wash out or anything, any incident there.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Curtis. Councillors, any further debate? Councillor Angus, rather reply.
Nothing to add, thank you.
If there's no one speaking against the officer's recommendation, I'll declare carried 7-0. Next item of business is CS02, monthly financial report for the period ending 30th June 2023. Councillor, you have officer's recommendation to receive the monthly financial report. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Ross. Councillor Hughes. Councillor Ross.
Thanks, Mr. President. I don't think there's anything that especially needs comment on. Everything is tracking well and the report's well presented. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ross. Councillor Hughes.
Nothing to add.
Great. Councillors, anyone speaking against the officer's recommendation? Thank you. If there's no one speaking against the officer's recommendation, I'll declare carried 7-0. That debate. Next item of business is Chief Executive Officer Section CEO 01, Work Health and Safety Statistic Reports, quarter ending June 2023. Councillor, can I have a mover to receive the report? I'm happy to move it. Second to Councillor Angus. I'm sure that was a close second. Okay, so mover, I'll speak to it. I just want to thank the Shire for preparing the quarterly report. It takes a bit of effort to collate the statistics, but it's appreciated and it's clear that we're providing a safe workplace to the staff. So that's the most important thing. So thank you for the efforts of the CEO and the executive management team for ensuring we have a safe workplace and everyone comes home. Councillor Angus.
Nothing to add to that, thank you.
Councillors, anyone speaking against the officer's recommendation? No, nothing. Okay, no further, no debate, no one speaking against the officer's recommendation. I'll declare carried 7-0. Thank you. Next item of business, CEO 02, WALGA Annual General Meeting 2023 voting delegates. Councillors, you have a officer's recommendation to endorse the voting delegates and proxy voting delegates for the 2023 Annual General Meeting, as written on your screen. Can I have a mover for the officer's recommendation? Councillor Dewar. Councillor Angus, seconder. Councillor Dewar.
Yeah, well-credentialed candidates here on this occasion, and we certainly need some bodies down there, asking a few questions and doing that sort of thing. At WALGA.
Thank you, Councillor Dewar. Councillor Angus.
Only to say that I think it's really important that we are represented and have at least 4 ears down there listening to what's happening.
Thank you, Councillor Angus. Councillors, anyone wish to speak against officer's recommendation? Anyone wish to speak for? Okay, if there's no one speaking against, right required, I'll declare carried 7-0 without debate. Thank you. Next item, business CEO 03, registry policy amendments. Councillors, you are requested to endorse the amendments to the policy register as per the list of policies in the officer's recommendation. Can I have a move for the officer's recommendation? Councillor Ross, thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Campbell. Councillor Ross.
Thanks, Mr President. There's not a great deal that needs commenting on with this. For the most part, these are updates, sort of amendments and edits that need to be made to each of these policies to align them with changes to our local laws that we've made recently. So I have no difficulty in supporting this.
Thank you, Councillor Ross. Councillor Campbell.
Nothing further to add.
Councillors, anyone speaking against the officer's recommendation? Anyone wish to speak for? Assume right of reply is not required, Councillor Ross. Okay, councillors. I'll declare carried 7-0 without debate. Item 10, reports of committees, there are nil. Item 11, motions of which previous notice has been given, there are nil. Item 12, questions from members without notice. Councillors, are there any questions? Thank you. Item 13, new business of an urgent nature introduced by decision of the meeting, there are nil. Item 14, matters for which the meeting may be closed, there are nil. And item 15, closure. I declare the meeting closed at 7:30 p.m. Thank you.
Those couple of questions early on there, it was talking...